Hello, and welcome back to the third episode of the Intentional Sounding Football Podcast. My name is Josh,
And I'm Jake.
and today we're going to be doing our game predictions for week 3 of the 2021 NFL season. If you'll notice today,
Woo!
we're missing a member. That's because Nick is going on vacation tomorrow morning, so he was not able to join us. But, so it'll be a shorter episode, just the two of us. But we'll be, we'll still be fun. Nick will be in the
Yep.
next episode. He's just missing this one, so he'll be back next time. And a few changes. So one, we're gonna be adding graphics. Hopefully this episode, I'm pretty sure, thanks to Jake.
Yep.
But to make it easy on the graphics, instead of doing a player of the game for each team, we're just gonna do one player of the game. If it's a close game, it could be from the losing team too, probably be from the team that wins. We're just gonna do one player of the game instead of one from each team.
It was just really
And
time consuming and it added a bunch of unnecessary time in our
yeah,
opinion.
and we'll be having a logo soon too, and like an introduction, that stuff. I'm not quite sure when that'll be. It should be by like the week 5 or 6 or 7 predictions. We're not quite sure when yet, but it'll be coming soon.
I thought you said week 5 or 6 or 7 of the NFL. It's like, jeez.
no, like when that episode comes out. Well, I'm working out some with some guy, so it'll take like maybe a week or two. I got to get it done before summer ends though.
Also, I would like to thank all the people that have come from our TikTok. We started a TikTok account and it's been going pretty good. We've gotten a few videos over a couple thousand views and we've gotten like 80 followers. But I know a few of you guys have commented asking where you can find it. So we've redirected you. We put it in our bio. So if you're here, thanks for tuning in. This is what we're going to be doing the whole NFL season, and we're just going to keep growing. So thank you for being some of the first people here.
Yeah, thanks for all the support on the last 2 videos. Well, as we're filming this, I just uploaded the last episode a few hours ago. The first episode I thought did pretty well. I mean, we got near 100 views on that. I thought we did pretty good. And thanks for the support on the TikTok page. We're at like 71 followers now, so maybe we can
get. Yeah, but we're getting good views. We're getting.
We're all your. The people love Jake.
What can I say?
We've been a little bit inconsistent the past few days to TikTok, but we're working on it. All right, so let's get right into this.
Get right started.
The first game is the Carolina Panthers face off against the Houston Texans on a very crappy Thursday night football game. I have the Panthers winning this one, starting out 3-0, 27-13. I honestly could see them putting up more points. I can see the Texans putting up less, but I just went 23-13. And the player of the game is Christian McCaffrey. Fantasy owners for Christian McCaffrey will be very happy about this game. Probably like a 40-point game, something like that. He'll probably have 2 or 3 touchdowns. So it'll be a pretty bad game, but still a good game to watch for you, McCaffrey and fantasy.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Josh is a bit generous with the Texans. I have the Panthers winning 28-0. Their offense is explosive, and the fact if they don't have Deshaun Watson, their season is over. They're screwed. There's no point in even really playing these games. But I have them winning 28-0. Again, I think this is going to be a Christian McCaffrey show. Although I have the player of the game being DJ Moore. This offense is just so firepowered. I mean, you got Robbie Anderson, you got DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, all these guys against a Texans defense that I can name one player. That's not a good matchup in my opinion. So 28-0 Panthers, and DJ Moore is your player of the game.
That Texans defense has like no one on it. I mean,
Justin Reed, I can't name a player. I don't think.
Justin Reed, I only know this guy because Nick loves him. Shaq Lawson, the Dolphins traded him, but I mean that's all I can name. I don't know anyone else.
Is Jonathan Joseph still on that team?
They did sign Desmond King. I do know that, but like, I mean,
Philip Lind. Oh, he's on offense.
Yeah. I mean, I say we're pretty good player knowledge, but I can't name more than 3 players.
I don't know.
So yeah, next game, Colts at Titans. I think this will be a very good game. I think the Colts will get the upset here. In a game that could potentially go to overtime, but I don't have it going to overtime. In this case, I have the Colts winning 21-20 by 1 point. And the reason the Colts are going to win, even though Carson Wentz kind of sucks, I mean, I feel like, any quarterback can do good against the Titans defense. And the Titans offense is very good, but I think the Colts run defense will be able to somewhat slow down Derrick Henry. and even their secondary will be able to slow down their passing game a little bit. I just don't think that the Titans defense can do anything against the Colts offense. So especially with their line, I mean, this is Jonathan Taylor's game. He's going to get a few touchdowns. He could get 200 rushing yards in this game. I'm just saying, you got to start him that week, but might not happen. But regardless, I have the Colts winning 21-20. Jonathan Taylor is the player of the game.
You know, I'm gonna go the opposite way this time. I'm gonna go with the Titans winning in a not so high scoring game of 17-14. You know, although I don't think the Titans have a good defense at all by any standards, and the Colts have a pretty good defense, it's more that I don't think the Colts offense is very good. So it's a not very good offense going against a not very good defense, but one of the best NFL's offenses going against one of the top NFL defenses, in my opinion. So 17-14. And my player of the game is Derrick Henry. You know, one of the last times they played last season, Derrick Henry put up about 200 yards and almost, I think it was like 4 touchdowns. He was absolutely going ham. But I mean, they're all going against the Colts defense, which is like top 3 in my opinion. So it's always hard to bet against Derrick Henry. So
top 3, okay.
What do you think?
4. It's 4th. You got to go Rams 1, Bucks 2, Washington 3.
I'm going Rams 1, Washington 2, Bucks 3.
Yeah, you said Colts top 3.
Oh shoot. Bucks 4, Colts 3.
Okay. So next we have the Falcons will visit the Giants. I'm not high on the Giants at all next year. They're so overrated. And honestly, it could just be because I don't really like Daniel Jones. So either way, it's the Falcons. They're going to screw this game up. It's going to be 12-17. The Giants win. The Falcons are going to put up 12 points. It's going to be 4 Younghoe Koo field goals. No touchdowns. The Giants defense, again, I also think is overrated. But it's still top 15. It's near the bottom of the top 15. So, I mean, James Bradbury can do his best locking down Calvin Ridley. They'll have someone cover Kyle Pitts, maybe Blake Martinez or something like that. They'll be just fine on the defensive side, but the Giants, as bad as Daniel Jones is, if Saquon Barkley's any healthy, or I mean they have some good receivers too, they'll shred that Falcons defense. So for that reason, I have Saquon Barkley being the player of the game in a low-scoring game that the Giants win 17-12. This is the game that Saquon Barkley is fully healthy and back for, and he'll get both the touchdowns in this Giants game.
But I'm going to be taking the New York Giants this game, 10-7. Like you said, I don't think it's going to be an entertaining game at all. This is not what I'm going to watch. Giants have a pretty good defense, top 10, top 15 in defense. They are a little overrated, but the Falcons lost their number 1 playmaker in all reality. They did get the unicorn in the draft, so they got Kyle Pitts, one of the best prospects I've ever had. And they have Calvin Ridley. They don't have Todd Gurley anymore, I don't believe, right?
He's still free agent. He's still a free agent.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, thank God he didn't sign with Detroit. That would have killed DeAndre Swift's value.
I know. But how do you go from 2017 Offensive Player of the Year to sitting?
His knees.
Yeah. But 10-7 Giants, and I'm gonna take Saquon Barkley. Like Josh said, I believe that this will be his first game fully healthy.
I think this kind of off track will lead us in the next game. I think Le'Veon Bell is a free agent too. I'm not sure, but
yeah, he is, because he Bleacher Report posted that he publicly said he's never going to play another snap with like Andy Reid.
Okay, well that leads us right in the next game, the Chargers at the Chiefs. This will be a very good game, and I could see the Chargers winning it, but because it's an Arrowhead, I have Kansas City winning this one. In a very high-scoring game, 23-28 is the final score. The Chiefs mainly win this one because Chargers corners, I mean, I really haven't checked this recently, but I'm pretty sure it's Chris Harris and then who? I mean, I know they have Asante Samuel. I know they have some corners.
No, I thought Asante Samuel went to the Eagles.
No, we got
that was the dad.
Because every FSU player goes to LA these days, I guess.
Yeah, that is fact.
So, you know, I mean, I don't think he's their number 2 corner. I think he's their number 3. There's some guy I'm forgetting. But either way, Chris Harris, as a Denver fan, he's kind of washed. I mean, he was kind of washed last year. He's going to get torched by Tyreek Hill. And for that reason, Tyreek Hill's going to have a similar game, not quite as good, but similar to when he had that 200-yard first quarter performance, I think, against the Bucks. Not like exactly like that, but I think he'll have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns this game. So I have the Chiefs winning 28-23. Chargers lose because their defense is not quite good enough to stop Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring and entertaining game. Definitely a game I'll tune in and watch. But I have where is it? I have the Chiefs winning 31-28. The one reason I did give the Chargers a little bit of leniency in a 3-point game is because Justin Herbert's first ever game was against the Chiefs. And I feel like he's still a little mad about losing his first ever game against the Chiefs. So I think Herbert will throw 4 touchdowns. I think he'll have a fantastic game. Although, like Josh said, their corners or the Chargers corners are not very good. I mean, you got Chris Harris, which he'll be guarding Tyreek Hill, I guess. I don't know if they'll start Asante Samuel yet. But I just don't like that matchup. So although I do think the difference maker for the Kansas City Chiefs, who is also my player of the game, I think Travis Kelce will have a fantastic game. So 31-28 Chiefs, and Kelce's your player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's good predictions. Wait, what was your score again? Sorry, say it again.
31-28.
To the Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Okay. Gee, I wonder how these predictions are going to look when football season starts. We are 55 days away from the NFL season starting up again.
Preseason or?
Actual regular season. Preseason,
that
that's
happy.
Thursday, August 5th, which is technically still over summer. That's the Hall of Fame game.
That's crazy.
Next game, Bengals at Steelers. I do think the Bengals will win one against Pittsburgh, but because Pittsburgh is the home team here and Joe Burrow will be more recently coming back from his ACL or his horrible knee injury, just got torn everything up. I had them losing week 1 to the Vikings, and I did have them beating Chicago week 2 by 1 point, assuming Andy Dalton is still starting. But even though they came off a pretty good win, they barely won. And I think that Pittsburgh gets the better of them here. I think Pittsburgh will start out better. I think they'll get a lot worse. By like week 6, they'll be doing horrible. So I have the score being 13-21. Pittsburgh wins. And I have a defensive player of the game here, which, we're not doing as much of now. But this one is TJ Watt. I think he will tear up the Bengals offensive line, get a few touchdowns, could even get a fumble recovery, and that will be the reason that the Bengals fall by 8 points to the Steelers.
I have it the opposite way in this game, and I also have it as a fairly high-scoring game as well. I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning 24-21. I mean, the Steelers have a top 5 defense, but also if you look at the Bengals offense, they have a very good offense. I mean, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, the GOAT CJ Azuma. You got Jamar Chase. You got T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Auden Tate. As much as I was saying bad stuff about them in the first week, I feel like they're kind of going to be improving, and Joe Burrow will be healthier, and I think he'll be able to take down the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Oh, and your player of the game is Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, if he's actually healthy. That's a bold take because the Steelers D-line versus the Bengals offensive line. That's bold.
I know, but I'm taking Joe.
But you said the Steelers have a top 5 defense, but the Bengals will still put up 24. You think they're 5th, the Steelers?
Yeah. Rams, Washington, Indy,
Tampa
Bucks,
Bay,
Steelers.
I'm taking Denver 5. That's biased, but that's okay.
Oh, I forgot him.
Jake loves Denver's defense. He hates everything else about Denver.
I love their defense.
Next game, Chicago at Cleveland. I would have thought that they would start Justin Fields against the Bengals week 2, which they could do, but because they have to face the Browns after this, I don't think they'll start him until week 4 against the Lions, and then they play the Raiders defense after that. So for those reasons, Andy Dalton's still starting here. Not a very good game. Chicago falls in this one 17-27 to Cleveland. The Browns player of the game is Odell Beckham. This is his comeback game, just like Saquon Barkley had this week. Because the number 1 corner on the Bears, I'm pretty sure, is Jalen Johnson. So This will be OBJ's game. It'll either be OBJ or Baker. One of them will have a big game, or both.
Yeah, I'm also going to be taking the Browns. But wait, what was your score again?
27-17, Cleveland.
Yeah, that's a little closer than I think it will be. Although in my opinion, the Bears have a very solid. I mean, I shouldn't say very solid, but they have a pretty solid defense working with them. I mean, Eddie Jackson, Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack. You got all those guys. But then when you look at the Browns offense, I mean, Baker Mayfield, you got Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Yeah, I think the Browns are going to win this game 35-14. Although it is it's a big overestimate. I think that the Browns will win 35-14. Player of the game for the Browns. Surprising one is Austin Hooper.
Austin Hooper. You remember 2 years ago in Atlanta when he was a top 5 tight end?
I signed him off the free agency wire, and I was sitting pretty him and George Skittle.
Now I understand the whole, he's on the Browns. There's more players there, but Odell was out last year. I mean,
yeah,
it was Landry, Rashard Higgins who's underrated, Peoples-Jones who was underrated, but he was it was him, I guess David Njoku. I think Austin Hooper should have done much better.
Wasn't he holding out at some point or not holding out, demanding a trade? Yeah.
He did it first, but then he changed his mind. I think it was in the offseason. All right, next game. We don't need to talk much about this one. Baltimore at Detroit. Baltimore wins 31-10. I'm being generous and giving Detroit 10 points because DeAndre Swift will get a touchdown just because I like him for fantasy. Or TJ Hawkinson. Detroit's, they're bad, but it's very rare that a team puts up 0 points. It doesn't happen too many times this season. I think the only team this year that's capable of putting up 0 points is Houston. Yeah. I don't see there being that many horrible teams in the league this year. So, yeah. But I still Baltimore winning 31-10.
Denver. Two of the horrible teams. Houston, Denver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Denver's so bad.
Yeah. Except for that defense. All right. This game.
Whoa, hold on. Player of the game, Lamar Jackson.
I have this isn't even a question. I have the Ravens winning this game. Or is it 35-3? It's a touchdown.
I know you're so harsh with the scores.
Huh? I know. I'm a fun guy. What can I say?
28-0 to Carolina Houston.
Hey, you literally just said if I see one team getting a goose egg, it's the Texans
against Carolina. Yeah.
This is the guy who has them going 11-5 or 11-6.
Yeah, they are. They started out 3-0 for
35-3, and your player of the game for the Ravens. My bad. It's Truz.
Okay, next game, New Orleans at New England. Good game. I have at this point New Orleans being 0-2 and New England being 2-0. Originally, I've had this game going to New England for a while, but I thought more about it, and I'm switching it up and giving it to New Orleans, 23-21. Game could probably be lower scoring. I could see 20-17. Either way, it'll be a 3-point or less game. And the main reason that the Saints will win, is hot take here, even though they have Gilmore and J.C. Jackson, all those guys, this is Michael Thomas's, a lot of return games here. This is Michael Thomas's return game from his from all his injuries last year and all his issues. He's going to come back and he's going to torch Gilmore, and this is Michael Thomas's game. Jameis Winston is going to feed him the ball. All these people saying Thomas won't be good because he's got Jameis Winston. Godwin was the number 2 fantasy receiver. Mike Evans was the number 8 fantasy receiver. And who was their quarterback? Jameis Winston. So Michael Thomas, no other targets in that offense other than Alvin Kamara, really. So I think Thomas will have a big year, and this is his first game that he really starts to come back. And for that reason, New Orleans wins the game.
Yeah, I also have New Orleans winning the game, but in this take, I have New Orleans winning 21-10. I'm pretty high on Jameis Winston. I have 2 jerseys hanging right there. Yeah, so I have the Saints winning 21-10. Although the Patriots have a pretty solid defense, probably top. What would you say? Top
half. I'd go with the 10 to 13 range.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be everyone says the best defense in the NFL because of Sam Darnold saw ghosts.
When the Niners.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I also have MT winning your player of the game.
There we go. Okay, next game. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're about halfway done. Arizona at Jacksonville. Now, this was the game that I almost gave the losing team player of the game, because this is Trevor Lawrence's first big game. His first game, they played the Texans, and it's because it's his first NFL game. I don't care that he's Trevor Lawrence. I had Houston winning that one. That's their one win of the season. Kind of spoiler alert, but who didn't expect that? Then they play Denver. I don't think it's biased to say we have a very good defense. He's going to struggle against that secondary. It's him in a second game. It's his first home game, but and I'll be there, so that'd be fun. Second home game, though, playing Arizona, who has a decent defense, I would say in the 15 to 18 range, like right around average, could be slightly higher than that. But I think he'll throw 3 passing touchdowns in this, but because of Jacksonville's defense, they are going to sell the game, and the Cardinals will pull this one off 27-21. I didn't know who to give player of the game on the Cardinals because I already gave Hopkins week 1 and Kyler Murray week 2, and I couldn't really think of many offensive players to give it to. So I just gave it to Kyler Murray again. He'll have a good game. But I almost gave it to Trevor Lawrence, so I just want to give an honorable mention to that because this will be his first very good game that he shows he will be a good NFL quarterback. This is his first game he drops over 20 points.
Yeah, I also agree. I feel like this will be a really fun game to watch. And I also think that this will be not a crazy high scoring game, but I think that this will be an interesting game. Now, the Cardinals have a pretty solid offense. Kyler Murray, you got who's the running back? Is that Edmonds?
James Conner and Chase Edmonds.
I forgot they got Conner.
I'm very low on James Conner.
Yeah, I don't like Conner either. He's not very solid. But yeah, I have the Cardinals winning 21-17. I mean, in a matchup to have Arizona versus Jacksonville, it's hard to pick Jacksonville. I wanted to because I'm a Seahawks fan, but
Cardinals?
I can't do that. My player of the game for the Cardinals is Budda Baker. I think he finally will get his first career pick 6 after DK stole it from him, which is the best player in football.
Washington at Buffalo. Is the next game. Let's just move on.
Upset alert! Upset alert! Ring the upset bells.
Oh, okay, hold on. I had the score the wrong way written on here. Yeah, I really wanted to go with Washington here, but what?
I'm taking Washington.
Well, I wanted to go with Washington, but I just feel like there's something clutch with Josh Allen. The game is 14-14. It goes into overtime. Washington gets the ball first. They kick a field goal at 17-14. And what does Josh Allen do? He throws an 80-yard bomb to Diggs, and it's caught. Touchdown. Bills win 21-17. It's going to be a great game. Game of the week, perhaps.
It would actually be 20-17 because they don't kick extra points after overtime.
So the score of the game is 20-17. Yeah, well, they might want to kick it. Tyler Bass, he might want to get some fantasy points, Gotta rack up.
Ooh.
He might insist on going back out there. Okay, so my mistake. The Bills win 20-17.
Unacceptable.
And Josh Allen is the player of the game because of that final touchdown that he throws. There. You happy, Jake?
Yeah, I'm not happy with who you have winning. I'm going to be taking Washington in this game, 17-14. Not a crazy scoring game, but I think it will be a pretty good game. I'll probably just have it on Red Zone and be watching this game and the Chiefs Chargers. So I was conflicted in this game. It's probably a top 5 offense going against a top 2 defense. But I feel like I'm going to take Washington in my opinion. I feel like they're probably going to roll with Fitzpatrick with the starting job over Heineke. Antonio Gibson. I mean, you got Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, Cameron Kirk. Why do I keep saying he's a receiver? He's a safety. But you got all these guys. Yeah. You got all these guys going against the Bills defense, which they don't really have much. I mean, they have 2 solid safeties in Jordan Poyer and who's the other guy?
Micah Hyde.
I always forget that he's not on the Packers.
I always think he's on the Packers. I didn't even watch.
So yeah, I'm just gonna take the football team. 17-14. Player of the game is Terry McLaurin.
All right, that's a fair prediction. Okay, I just checked. That is the last 1:00 game. Why is that relevant? Because that'll be the 1:00 game I will be watching. That was important to know because I didn't know if I could watch it or not, because now we have the next game, the true game of the week. The New York Jets visiting the Denver Broncos. What a game. This is a very hot take. This is the game where Drew Lock's like, okay, I'm the guy. I might not be a top 10 quarterback. I might not be Josh Allen level, but I'm
You
good
might not be
enough.
a top 25 quarterback. You might be
No,
like
no, no,
a
no.
top 30
I might.
quarterback.
He's like he might not be a top tier quarterback, which it's still possible. Anything could happen. We could see Daniel Jones be like top 5. It's not gonna happen, but anything could happen. But I think Drew Lock would be good enough to the point where he can lead a team that has as much talent as ours does. For example, when Jared Goff took the Rams to the Super Bowl, or Nick Foles won enough playoff games, even though Carson Wentz in the regular season, he won enough playoff games, take the Eagles to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl, but we're definitely good enough to make the playoffs if Drew Lock can just not lose us the games. If he doesn't throw picks, he doesn't need to play hero ball. He just needs to be safe with it. So I think we'll run a run-first offense this year. And because of that, we will smoke the Jets. Well, not smoke. It is a home game, but I feel like even though our defense is much better than last year, I feel like our defense was top half last year, and we still would give up too many points to some random teams, like 27 points to the Jets last year. Sam Darnold gets like a 50-yard rushing touchdown because, we don't know how to tackle in Denver. I have the Jets getting 13 points because I'm too nervous to give us too big of a win. But I have us putting up 24 points, and I think Drew Lock gets 3 passing touchdowns. I think he throws 0 picks, similar to his game against the Panthers, where he threw 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. He's had these good games before, and I think after getting an easy start against the Giants, their defense is like slightly above average, but then the Jaguars, I think this like his big game. Sucks he has to face Baltimore the next week, but for now, this will be a good win for Denver. I've been winning 24-17. 24-13. With Drew Lock being the player of the game, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 to Cortland Sutton, 1 to Jerry Jeudy, and Noah Fant. Sure.
As much as I hate to say it, I also have the Broncos winning in a crushing defeat.
You love Denver, Jake.
I mean, Denver is probably my 3rd favorite team. As much as I hate to admit that. All right, so I've got the Broncos winning 28-10 against the Jets. It's a little much. What, you don't think that's accurate?
No, I was just surprised you would give us that big of a win.
I don't like the Jets defense. There's nothing on that defense that
I think their defense is underrated. I think they had some good additions. I mean, Quinn Williams and Carl Lawson on the defensive line. They got CJ Mosley.
Oh, that's never mind.
You know Carl Lawson, the guy who's on the Bengals?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then their corners kind of suck. That's
and Trey Hendrickson.
He's on the Bengals, Jake. He signed with the Bengals. He was on the Saints. And Carl Lawson, he's like a Carl Lawson replacement. And then they have Marcus May too. So I think they're a decent. I don't think
Marcus
they're on
May,
the Texans.
They're Marcus not May wants out.
What? Yeah, I know, but no, they just couldn't get a contract extension. He's still gonna play because he's not a player that can just like hold out. He'll get a lower deal. I think the Jets defense is bad. I think it's in the second to bottom tier. I wouldn't put it in the same tier as the Texans, Lions, and Falcons, but I think it's underrated for that reason. But it's still bottom 10.
So I got the Broncos winning 28-10. Bradley Chubb is your player of the game.
Like he was last time against the Jets. Because Nick's not here, I'm going to talk a lot about this game. Let's go. Miami at Las Vegas. I hate the Raiders. I don't hate the Dolphins at all. I actually kind of like the Dolphins. I just, the Dolphins, they're all right. They're a tad bit overrated. I see them as a worse version of Denver, simply because they're a good team with a questionable quarterback. Now, Tua, I would say, as of now, is better than Drew Lock, but the Dolphins, they're just like, same with the Giants. They're like the Broncos with a good team around and bad quarterback, but they're just like a step down with the team around. So for that reason, I think if people have Miami getting 10, 11 wins, Denver should be getting somewhere on the same respect. But I like Miami. I still have them getting double-digit wins, I will say. But I have them getting a really rough start in their one very winnable game in the first 5 games. They dropped this one to the Raiders on the road. Raiders get their revenge from last time with the face mask on Fitzpatrick. So, the Raiders get their revenge, and they win this one. Final score of 24-18. I think the Dolphins defense is starting to get a little bit overrated. I think it's maybe just outside the top 10. It could be top 10. I think it's in the 10 to 12 range. The the Raiders defense sucks, but again, we've seen guys do horrible against them. By guys, I mean Drew Lock threw 4 picks. That's it. But you never know. Tua, after starting 0-2 and playing good defenses like Buffalo and New England, I just think he continues to struggle at the start of the season at least. He will rebound, though. And Vegas pulls off 24-18. Like I said, Darren Waller's the Raiders player of the game. Darren Waller's the player of the game for this game. Racks up a couple of touchdowns and over 100 yards.
Yeah. So for this game, as much as I don't want to have the Dolphins win, because like you said, I feel like the Raiders always start off pretty hot.
They start out very good and they just choke.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with in this game. I'm gonna have to go with the Dolphins. I have the Dolphins winning 17-14. Not a crazy game, but not a bad game either. The Dolphins have if Tua plays good, they have a pretty good offense, I would say. I mean,
yeah.
Their offensive line isn't horrific, but it's not good.
Well, I'm surprised people haven't talked about that enough. It's the guy from the Ravens, center, Matt Skura, and then everyone else is like a second or third year player or rookie.
Yeah, but like I'm not saying it's maybe like 4th worst.
Yeah, but when you have that bad of an offensive line, Tua's gonna be panicking, throwing picks left and right.
Yeah, that's fast.
He's gonna
but if Tua has a good year with the targets he has, which are he has Devontae Parker, he has the newly acquired Jalen Waddle. But yeah, their offense isn't horrible without the O-line. And then when you look at the Raiders defense, there's also not much going on there. I mean, they have that guy they drafted out of Clemson with like the 4th pick. His name. Help me out here.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Farrell. No one even knows who he is because he sucks.
Max Crosby.
But you got not a solid. I mean, it's not a great defense. I mean, you got Jonathan Abram. You got the corner that's there.
They signed Casey Hayward.
Yeah, Casey Hayward. That's what I'm talking about. But I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna have to go with the Dolphins. And the player of the game for the Dolphins will be Myles Gaskin.
Myles Gaskin.
I love Myles Gaskin.
Kind of getting underrated, but also a little bit overrated. Just depends who you ask. Next game, Jake. Seattle at Minnesota. Would you like to go first or last?
I would love to go first.
Okay, you can go first.
Thank you. I was going to go first anyways. Seattle at Minnesota. This is a very interesting game when you think about it. I mean, you got 2 pretty solid teams facing off against each other. Although I feel like when you think about it, offense versus defense, I feel like we definitely outnumber them for the offense. I feel like we have a better offensive line. We greatly improved this offseason, and no one can say we didn't. We have Dwayne Brown, who's pretty solid, and we have Brandon Shell on the other side. But then we acquired the 6'8", 300-pound offensive tackle, Stone Forsythe. We also have Ethan Pocic, who's not horrible, and then we got probably the best rookie offensive guard from last year, Damian Lewis. And then we also traded a 5th-round pick for Gabe Jackson. I think he's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
About that
when you think about when you think about their offense, all you really think about is plus we have DK, Tyler Lockett, Gerald Everett, Dwayne Eskridge, Chris Carson, everyone. I'm high on Eskridge, bro. I like Eskridge and Russell Wilson. So we have better quarterbacks. I also feel like we have a better wide receiver duo. I also feel like, although they have a better running back in Galvin, I'm going to take our offense. They have Kirk Cousins. They have Jefferson. They have Thielen. They have Irv Smith Jr. They have a not very good offensive line. But Cook and Madison, pretty solid. When you think about the defenses, though, it's pretty tight. You have Harrison Smith and Jamal Adams for the safeties, which I feel like Jamal Adams is better than Harrison Smith. And we also have Quandre Diggs at free safety. They got rid of Anthony Harris, so I don't know who their free safety is right now. But then cornerbacks, they definitely have better cornerbacks because our cornerbacks suck. But defensive line and linebackers, it's pretty tight. I mean, we have Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner. They have what's his name?
Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr.
Yeah, Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr. Anthony Barr, you don't really hear much about him. But Eric Kendricks, I feel like we have the better linebacker core. Defensive line, it's pretty close.
Defensive line, not close.
Probably have Who, them?
Yeah, Daniil Hunter, Michael Pierce.
Oh, shoot. I forgot they had them. Yeah, defensive line, they definitely
Michael
went.
Pierce opted out last year, but he's fine. He's gonna play this year, I think.
So when we think about all this stuff, I'm going to take the Seahawks. I feel like overall they have better players. We tend to play pretty solid against Minnesota. We also have where our defense also plays very solid against Minnesota. The one factor I really like about this game is the last time we played them, we got 0 pass rush. We had 1 sack, and it was between our 2 Hawaiian defensive tackles that I've never heard of before.
Una Ford? No.
Not him. It was 2 bench warmers that came in. We were losing 13-0. But I'm gonna take the Seahawks just because Jamal Adams. I'm gonna take us just because that he's such a factor for the pass rush, and I feel like he's gonna be amazing in the pass coverage this year. So I'm taking the Seahawks 24-21. Jamal Adams is your player of the game, baby.
Okay, well, as much as I love Seattle, Jake, they play the Colts week 1, the Titans week 2, and now the Vikings week 3. And I gave them wins against the Colts and the Titans. And I severely doubt they win all 3 of those games. I think they'll drop one of them. You could really go any way. But because I'm so high on Minnesota for next year, and I already gave them wins against the Colts and the Titans, I've been dropping this one to the Vikings by 1 point, 23-24. Vikings come out on top. Also, Minnesota's the home team, so that helps too. Jake was going off comparisons earlier. Russ is much better than Kirk. I would take their running back core by a large margin over the Seahawks. Receivers, you could go either way, really. I mean, I prefer Jefferson over DK, but Lockett over Thielen. But Thielen's like a touchdown machine, so I would give the edge to the Vikings. Tight end is very close because I'm very high on Irv Smith for next year. And then offensive line, I'd say, is about equal. But defense, I just think the Vikings have the better defense. It's around average. Seahawks, I think, is in the 20-24 range. I'd say the Vikings is like 15-20. So I have the Vikings winning by 1 point. Very good game, though. Next game is the Bucks at the Rams. Very good game. I don't know why all the great games have to be at 4 o'clock. Because I want to watch all of these. But instead,
which game are you going to be watching?
Denver against the Jets.
If you had to tune into one game, what are you tuning into other than Denver? Seahawks or
it's so close between Seattle and Minnesota.
Bucks.
No, Packers one is Sunday night. Okay, Bucks dropped this one 17-20. The Rams win because I feel like the Rams are going to win this one. I just have this feeling it's on the road for the Bucks. And, that they'll drop this one in the Rams. I think Tom Brady will start shows regression this year. Or maybe not. Maybe he'll just play for another 50 years. But, of the Rams winning this one 20-17 because Aaron Donald will be the player of the game for this game against a good Bucks offensive line.
This is a very interesting game, in my opinion. Again, a top 4. It's number 4 and number 1 for defenses. But I feel like, although I'm probably going to get backlash for this, I feel like the Bucks have a much better offense than the Rams by miles and miles. Do you disagree with that, Josh?
The Bucks offense has more chemistry than the Rams. Matthew Stafford could take a year or 2 to get used to the Rams' offensive scheme, but if he adjusts quickly, Rams could be going to the Super Bowl. Because I've always thought Stafford is top 10
I'm going to be taking the Bucks 35-28 in a very high-scoring and entertaining game. I will not be watching this game, but I will be watching the Seahawks game. But I'm going to take them 35-28. It's mainly just because Tom Brady's been there for a year. He has a year under his belt. He brought them a Super Bowl. I trust Tom Brady with all the options he has. And I don't know if I trust Matthew Stafford yet. Everyone's saying he's going to take him to the Super Bowl. I don't know if he can go from being a. You just said if
you said everyone. I feel don't put me in everyone. I thought that was.
I feel like most people are saying he's going to go to the Super Bowl.
No.
But I don't know if I trust Matthew Stafford going from a consistent 4-12 quarterback to going to all these wins. And plus, they have a new offensive coordinator. He's not going to know the scheme. Neither is anybody else. They're probably going to take a few weeks to understand that. So I'm just going to take the safe pick and go with the Bucks by 7. Your player of the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Rams offense. I just feel like the Rams offense is going to be good. Big Cam Akers fan because we both like Florida State. I mean, you can see the Dalvin Cook jersey in Jake's background. But so I'm a big Cam Akers fan. I'm a fan of Matthew Stafford because I feel like he's top 10. He's a great leader. He's just never been on a good team, and now he finally is. And then let's not forget how good Cooper Kupp was 2 years ago. I mean, he was a monster. And then I feel like he's just a good quarterback for Robert Woods, and they got Tyler Higbee. So I think their offense will be just fine. Top 10. Yeah, near the bottom of the top 10. But their defense is number 1. So, I mean, I think that takes you to Super Bowl. Number 1 defense, a top 10 offense. So, yeah. Second to last game, Sunday Night Football, Packers at Niners. All these games, at least for me, I'm doing with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is still in the Packers. I don't care if he doesn't want to play. If you look at the rosters right now, the number 1 quarterback for Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't say Jordan Love is the number 1 quarterback, so I go off of right now. Aaron Rodgers is the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers right now. I don't think he will be, but in case he is, Packers take this one 24-16. Jimmy Garoppolo is still starting at this point, even though the Niners kind of own the Packers, and I really wanted to give the Niners this game. I really thought about it. Trey Lance isn't starting at this point. Aaron Rodgers is still starting for the Packers. Even though the Niners always kill the Packers the last 2 or 3 years, I'm taking Green Bay 24-16. Player of the game, I would give to Aaron Rodgers, but because of the uncertainty, we're going with Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Also, I agree with that statement. I'm going to be taking the Packers 28-10, mainly because of Aaron Rodgers being on that team right now. As he said, it doesn't say Jordan Love. It doesn't say anybody else. It says Aaron Rodgers. I know he has his worries about how they're not addressing the receiver core. But I like the Packers. They're a solid team, although they can't play in NFC championships, of course. But yeah, I'm going to take the Packers 28-10. The 49ers' only chance is if their defense really steps up. I don't think their offense stands a chance against Green Bay's defense. I'm not a big fan of Jimmy G nor Trey Lance. I mean, Raheem Mostert is fine. Also, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are okay. I think Brandon Ayuk is a little better, but I feel like the cornerbacks for the Packers are going to be able to shut him down quite easily. Jair Alexander, especially. But then when you really think about it, it's that 49ers defense. Nick Bosa, Dee Ford, Fred Warner. You got all these guys who went out with injury last year that are going to come back and be mad. Although I don't think they're going to be able to handle Davante Adams. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to take 28-10. Packers win. Davante Adams scores 3 touchdowns in his MVP.
Philadelphia at Dallas. This is a horrible Monday night game, but, Philadelphia drops this one 18-28. Cowboys win it. And I had Michael Thomas having his comeback game, Odell Beckham having his comeback game, Saquon having his comeback game, Christian McCaffrey, yeah, but I think he'll be good right off the bat. This is Zeke's comeback game too. This is the game where he runs for a couple touchdowns and shows he's not some fumbling bum. He's still a top 7 running back. Yeah, that's my score. 28-18 Dallas. Zeke wins player of the game for that one for me.
I don't really think this is a fair match, in my opinion. I think the Cowboys are going to blow them out of the water, and I'm talking a 28-point win. I think that the Cowboys are going to win 31-3 in a not close game. It's Jalen Hurts against a not very good defense,
horrible defense.
But Miles Sanders, you got Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, who really does nothing. I don't like their offense. I like the Cowboys' offense. You got Dak Prescott. You got one of the best offensive lines in football. Tight end Dalton Schultz. Zeke. Tony Pollard. You got Amari Cooper. You got I'm blanking. CeeDee Lamb, and you got what's the last guy's name? There's Michael one more. Gallup. Yeah. So I'm going to take them 31-3, and player of the game for the Cowboys is Amari Cooper.
I don't like Philly, but I feel like they can drop more than 3 on Dallas's defense. But Dallas could drop more than 28.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just going to be an offensive game for Dallas.
Okay, so those are our week 3 predictions. Week 4 will be out. Well, this is coming out Monday if I do my editing on time. We are doing some surprise episode. We won't say what it is. Something fun. Nick will be back. So we hope you enjoyed our week 3 game predictions, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hey, yo.